Hey y'all.
Hey, yes, we are back here for part two of Netflix The Glory, episode 16. I promise you, I did not think it would be this long, but apparently it is. I have six more pages to go on. Well, six more little pages, but still, nonetheless, six more pages, and we still need to really give an overview. This is the last episode. We're saying goodbye to the glory, and we're saying hello to a new one, and we'll announce that at the very end of this particular episode. So I have my bro, Joe Nathan, Mr. JoJo Speaks himself. He is the one that I made watch this. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and get back into it. Where we last left off is Dungun on the roof of the building that Sohee passed away on. And she was basically in the process of unaliving herself.
Mm-hmm.
And Yo Jung's mother not to go. And from the looks of it, it looks like she did not, because now it sounds like we have a new target. It sounds
Mm-hmm.
like we're going to take care of the hell that Yeo Jung is going through because of the killer of his father. So that's what we're going to do. At least I hope. Next, okay, while being sentenced to death, of course, there was a flashback so that we can really be understanding what's going on and why it's such a hellish situation. Child, while the killer was being handed his sentence, he was using a pen to scratch an itch in his cast. And then this was after they said, life in jail. He was looking at Yeo Jung and he smiled at him. It's like, hey, I got the itch. And like, and of course, as anyone would, he lost it. It's like you're not even remorseful. And then of course there's all these words of how he likes to see how it looks when people are going to glory, how everything fades away from their eyes and stuff like that, blood vessels and all. Like, this man enjoys it. And he's demented and he's a monster. And there's one of I think Selena Johnson needs to speak with him to let him know about the special place that is just for
Yes.
him.
Absolutely. Yes. Just antagonizing the man. But that's what his character does. That's who he is. And he does not care about other people's feelings. He's only focused on how he feels and the rise he gets out of making other people miserable.
Absolutely. So now that we understand the assignment, why we really need to dig into this man and make sure that he makes his ticket to the hellish gates.
Hmm.
Um, you know, we make a 6 month jump to the summer of 2023. And we're at the Go Park, not Do Young's Go Park, but the original Go Park
Hmm.
that Donggun and Yeo Jung uh, were playing Go at. He just looks so freaking pitiful, so sad. 6 months he has been without his
Without his
Donggun.
baby, without his boo, without his girl,
Oh, Lord.
without his woman.
Okay, and Yeonjin is in prison, as so is her mom. They're both in there for murder, so of course they're there for life, and they pass each other.
Yes, they
Um,
do.
they're, I guess, in two. I can't call them a chain gang, but they're in two groups, two different groups or whatever. They pass each other, and Yeonjin, she sees her mother, and she's like, "Oma." That's what they say in Korean. Oma.
Yeah.
Ma, ma, my mother. Child,
She just kept on walking.
she kept it pushing like she never had a child.
Like she never even seen her. Like she don't know her. Yeah.
What you think about that moment? She lost it again. Not even she don't even have a mama.
He deserves it. There was never a point in this series that I felt sorry for her, that I felt any sympathy for her in any
Yeah.
way, shape, and or form, because she asked for it all. Signed, sealed, and delivered. There you go. Your life is a living HE double hockey sticks. And the fact that in the last episode, right after right before she handed in her letter of resignation, she said to
Mhm.
herself, "Why does my life have to be so hard? Do you not understand how this thing goes? You treat people right. Right things happen to you. When you treat people wrong, BS comes up against you and slaps you in the face and puts you in jail for life. I mean, it is what it is. I don't feel sorry for her at
She
all.
purchased a life of horribleness. She requested it with all of her
with
actions.
with her tongue and her actions. Yes.
Absolutely. And of course, that night after she got ignored by her own gosh darn mother, one of the prisoners says, "Hey, crazy weather lady, how's the weather gonna be?" And child,
Crazy weather lady. Oh, that's her nickname in prison. In prison, okay, prison, not just jail, not
prison,
not in county. Okay, she
prison.
this ain't no fly by night stay. You know what I'm saying? Getting
Mm-mm.
out on bond in the morning. No,
Oh no, no,
she's
no, no.
in
This is
prison.
it.
Crazy weather lady in prison. Okay, and
And
what
let
and
me.
what does the prisoner ask her to do?
What's the weather for tomorrow? This girl got up, tied her shirt together, tried to be a little cute or whatever, because you got to be presentable when you're on the Weather Channel.
Okay, when you're live on the air, honey.
Okay. And she gave a whole entire Weather Girl segment, crying and smiling and informing people about the ozone layer.
What has my life come to? That's what she's thinking while she's up here. And she was smiling, like she was
Smiling
smiling as if it
because she's
brought
on
her
TV.
joy to do it. Girl, it's
But in the midst, it was tears, acting.
right, yeah. Makes you really wonder, where's her mind at this point? What is she thinking at this
I don't think
point?
she know where it is.
I don't think she does either. I
It's
don't think she
lost.
knows where she is. She thinks
Where?
she on camera, okay? While she's crying and laughing at the same time.
Ciao. Okay. So next scene, I think that's it for Young Jin and us
Hmm.
seeing her there. We know what's going to go on for the rest of her life over there. She's going to be crazy weather lady. Moving
Okay. And
forward,
some butches. Okay. That's what she's about to be.
absolutely. So we see Dunghoon making kimchi. It seems like I need to find the word for it. I should have looked at some reviews or something like that, or got some information to find out where she was. But it
Mm,
looks like a monastery of sorts, or like maybe a temple where people just kind of just work. You know, she was
mm,
making kimchi with all the other ladies. You know, maybe they're devotees. I'm not sure, but it sounds like not sounds like she was there for 6 months,
mhm.
and um, but I said it kind of was like a monastery or whatever. She was there for 6 months, and you remember Hey Jung ex mother-in-law?
Mhm.
Okay, she was there doing the same thing with Donggun, and she was talking to her saying, "I didn't think you'd last a month, much less six. You made it here so long." And I believe it's just like helping a cause, like
Right.
staying there for a while to help make kimchi to make money for the church or the monastery. Somebody please tell me where she was, because I took a minute looking for signs. I was looking for something to know where she was, because that's actually where they met last time when Haejung was over there giving her gynecological updates to her mother-in-law to be. That's exactly where they were.
Okay.
Um, but she said the older woman, she did thank Donggun for basically looking out for her. I looked into those other people that were trying to basically be in my life, and I appreciate you looking out. They were not good people. We don't need those B words and other B words to be in our life. So thank you for that.
Mhm.
And she said, basically for as in return, like what can I basically she's here for her. I'll do I'll help you out. And she says she don't go and ask information about prison. It's like, can we get a prisoner, move to a different prison. And she said, well, they would have to cause a ruckus to be
Mhm.
moved from one prison to the next. And basically, it's like she's a businesswoman. And I think she could see that there was something brewing. And she says, I'll help you. And as she was leaving her, let's see, she said, call me if you need a loan. For you, I will take no interest in advance. You're like, I got you. Just let me
Okay,
know
I
if you need some
got
money.
you. Yes.
Okay. And because you're gonna need money doing this. Like she could see what she
The
was in the
vision.
process of doing.
Right.
Especially, if your enemy is over there at the prison, that's what you're gonna have to do. And I really like that moment. Because it's like yet she has yet another person that is here for her, that saw her for who she was.
Exactly.
And she's going to let me ride out with you. Because this is
She
what
didn't
you're
even
doing for
have to
me.
have too many conversations with her. She
Nah.
hadn't had too many scenes with her, but she understood where she was coming from. And when you see people like that, just like the girl who worked with her in the factory, they
Yes.
hadn't really had that much communication, but she literally saw the girl dropping off her shoes before she went inside for a year
A
almost. And
year.
so it's amazing how people connect with Moon Dong Ong and are willing to help her in any way she needs.
Because all she was trying to do was make it, and you could see that in her.
Mhm.
So everybody saw it. It was clear, and she was to herself. She wasn't being bad towards nobody. She was just
Right.
doing her, and we all appreciate that. God bless you, Dunga. All right. So Yo Jong comes home. We see him coming home a series of days, checking the goat board.
Yes.
He's certainly still going through it. He's missing his lady,
Okay.
going through it. And it's just very sad. This is why I didn't like this episode, because she left him again.
Yeah.
And of course, we had nothing to really, not a whole lot to really keep our mind off the fact that he left her again. So we
Right.
we are just emotionally stilted at the moment. So he's checking every day. We saw about 2 to 3 to 4 times where nothing happened, but then one day
Hmm.
we see a new black stone on the board, and his eyes were like, "Hey, McGee." And then we hear those buttons being pressed.
Hmm.
3724. And she walks in. He was just stunned. What was your thoughts, Jonathan?
I'm still asking why. Why did you do this to this wonderful, beautiful man who has been riding with you, riding for you all this time, and to just ghost him? Ghost him for 6 months, a whole half a year, 6 months, and he's thinking about her every single second of every single day of those 6 months.
I
He hasn't stopped
think
thinking about her.
I think it's basically what she said at the beginning, when not the very beginning, but earlier in this episode. She felt at first like she was being selfish, as if she's the only victim. And I think she was still in that place. And
Mm,
also, being that everything was done, she didn't have that focus on the
right.
revenge anymore,
Hmm.
because everything was done. Everything was tied up like a bow. And we'll see even further towards that by the end of this particular review here. But those 6 months at that calming place,
Hmm.
I believe she needed it, like therapy.
Agreed.
And 6 months, that's like rehab. Maybe it
Right.
was like a rehab. You know what I'm saying?
It could have been. And if she had told him what she had planned to do, he would have done anything to go with her. Just to be by her side. He would have
And
wanted to
and you
be
know the
there.
original plan, if it wasn't for his mama,
Yeah, to be a goner.
okay, okay,
Hmm.
to be a ghost,
Okay.
visiting him in his dreams. So I believe, though it was difficult, it was necessary for her and her well-being.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't like it. Um,
Me either.
because his face is just puppy dog. So she actually came back with beer. And I didn't think about this last time. Of course, I'm getting so many revelations while I'm writing the notes for this show.
Hmm.
That's what he was doing when he left her. He was buying some beer. So she brought back some beer. Like,
Right back to the day that I left. Yeah. Yes.
Of course, he was really upset. Of course, why would you leave me again? How dare you? And and of course, the first thing she asked when she walks in, so how have you been?
How have I been, girl? That
It makes
do
you want
you
to say the
really
B
want to
word.
know
Like it,
how I've been, girl? I've been miserable without you. That's how I've
oh,
been, honey. Okay.
and he said, "You are so cruel. How could you do this to me? Do you have any idea?" And then, of course, she stops his conversation. Once again, I think it was possible for her to stay as long as she did because, once again, I feel like she needed to work on herself.
Hmm.
She says, um, "I've missed you," and he said, Why you leave me?" And she says, "Maybe it was out of love." And see, think further into that. Tyrone, Jonathan. Out of love, she didn't give her broken self to
Her damaged
him.
self. Yes. Yes.
So I do believe that the 6 months was necessary, but if she tried to tell him that that was the case, I don't think he would
And,
have understood.
and he might have tried to talk her out of it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
he needed that. Well, they both needed it. And she said, "Oh gosh," and he sounded so sad. He said, "My revenge didn't go as planned." Um, and he wasn't able to, get in there and take care of the issue.
Right.
But it looks like he has been able to get a job as a physician in a prison, just not the prison that
Oh boy,
his
is that
prey is in.
right.
And and when he said that, so sad. She says, "I think you need some lessons." Apparently, because she's
Mm,
seasoned in this.
okay. I do this. I'm not new to
This
this. I'm true to this, sir.
so true to this. Over 18 years of trueness. I've been getting this together. And she says, "I will be your executioner." And that was awesome. And of course, then they kiss.
For the first time. For the first time. For the first time. I want to reiterate that. This is the
Yes.
first time they have kissed in this entire series. And what was it worth the wait for you, Jennifer? And then I'll go ahead and answer. You already know what my answer is, but
It was worth the wait. I think it wasn't too crazy for me because I've been looking at some, K drama, and one thing I know about them, they like to drag out that moment. And I'm not surprised they dragged it out this far for this show because there was so much happening. It's like
it's
it
almost like they didn't even have time to kiss, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And what she was doing, she was trying her best to stay focused. And if she was out here kissing and hunching on people, we would not be focused on the task at hand.
Right. For me, I thought the kiss lacked a little bit of passion. That's only because I love to watch romance things, so I see a lot of
Hmm.
this going on. But at the same time, she's new to this romance stuff. She's new to
And it's
being
her
with a
first
man.
kiss
She's new to kissing. It might have been her first kiss.
in her
So
30s. It could have been
yeah,
her.
right. So, at least it wasn't just a peck. At least it wasn't just a forehead kiss. At least it wasn't just a kiss on the cheek. At least it was a
Yes.
full on,
They
somewhat of
attempted
a
to go
makeout
at it.
session. Yes, they did.
Yes.
So it was definitely fulfilling though, because we had been missing this for a whole 14 episodes that they've
Right.
been together.
15. Right. Oh, yeah, 14. Because they
Hmm.
didn't know each other first one.
No.
So, okay. How about this? Rated 1 out of 10.
Say what?
1 to 10, rate the kiss.
I'd give it a 6.
Oh. Even
Just
with the
being
build
real.
up?
See, that's the thing. If the kiss doesn't give you the payoff from all the buildup, then the buildup was unnecessary. The
I'm
buildup
so curious
was
as to how your life is going to be when you get yours.
why you say that?
I'm wondering what you expect from it.
I understand that. I understand that. But I hope you also understand that I understand that life is not a fairy tale. So I
Oh no, you
understand
just like to see it.
that's exactly what I'm saying, Jennifer. I
Mhm,
just like to
mhm.
see it. I just know what I like when I see it. And so
To be
because this wasn't the perfect combination of them coming together, because
mhm,
maybe if it had happened maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, or maybe even in the last episode,
mhm.
it might have been more fulfilling for me. But again, because of the lack of passion that I saw in the kiss, and because they waited so long for it, you're expecting the payoff to be some, blow you out to water, but it just didn't do that for me. But and it's no shade on the actors or anything of
Oh
that
no,
nature.
uh-uh.
Again, I think the fact that she's inexperienced shows why it is that she didn't give much passion when she was kissing, whereas we would have seen it maybe in another couple in this
I
season. So
think I think I would have been all right if they never kissed because they've had so much chemistry this whole time.
for me, they would have been better off if they hadn't kissed at all, because the letdown of this kiss kind of
Child, you really let
overshadows.
down by.
I'm really not let down by it at all.
Oh,
But I'm just
okay,
saying, for
okay.
for others who may be let down by the kiss in a way that I
Mhm.
would have been, it might have overshadowed everything. But if they hadn't have kissed, it would have been understandable for me, because they've taken so long to have not kissed up to this point. So it would not have surprised me if they didn't kiss throughout the entire thing. So it
Okay.
is what it is. But I am glad that they did have that moment, though. I will say that I'm glad that
Yes,
they finally had that
it
moment.
was a successful moment, and to be honest, Donggun should not have given him any less for being gone all that time and not saying
Right.
nothing to him. It's a bit much, but at least we know why, because she wasn't planning on coming back at all, which is why she
Hmm.
sold all her goods and things of that nature. Anywho, the next thing we see is how Donggun saved the landlady.
Hmm.
What that well, first of all, for me, that was such a sad moment. It was so sad. It's like as Donggun, as her, 18-year-old self, she's out here trying to unalive herself. And she watches somebody else trying to do the same thing at the same time.
Hmm.
And she saves them, and they pretty much save each other. And the landlady says, let's come back in the spring. Let's let's go to glory in this cry with each other as they're freezing in the water, freezing. Child, what you thought about that? That was a lot.
That was so sweet to me. It's so odd the way that we find some of our allies. It's so odd where we find some people that will be willing to support us in our time of need. And that was an amazing thing. They were both going through something similar. No, not something
Yeah.
similar, but they were
But
both
something
going
bad.
through in their own specific ways.
Yeah.
And they were there to comfort each other. They were there to lift each other up, and that's always a beautiful thing.
And the beautiful letter that Donggun had for the landlady, really talked about, like, she reflects back and sees that she has had good people in her life. She
Hmm.
was able to look back at that moment, like, because she was saying, sometimes I would say, what if I had somebody to save me? What if I had somebody to reach out their hand and make sure that I was good? But during that process, she realized that she did. She literally had somebody save her from trying to kill herself.
Right.
She and of course, she's gathered people that's ready, not just regular old friends, people that's ready to do for her.
Hmm.
That's a different. That's different. She didn't have acquaintances. She had people that were down to ride. And that's actually kind of, that's precious. That's scarce. Not many people get that. What you think about her realizing that?
Another amazing thing in the story, and you would understand why she might not have that might not have been on the front of her mind for so long, because
Mhm.
so much time had passed by then. But for her to see that realization was really special.
Child, yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. There's so much stuff. Okay, so back in school, showing her. Oh yeah, she's back in school. She went back to school, Jonathan.
Hmm.
She's a very smart woman. People were talking about her behind her back, like, "Oh my gosh, like her scores are so high. We're so jealous of her, but look at her scars." You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And she does have a tattoo of a flower on one of her scars, which I think is very beautiful and symbolic.
Yes.
And you can see it's not just to cover it up; it's still just to have that symbolic nature. Um, and just like in the letter to the landlord, she says, I don't believe she meant to come back in the spring to die. Just come back as a flower to bloom, to grow in the spring. And I once again, another beautiful way to look at things. If
Hmm.
you're on the verge of going to glory, just watch the end of glory, the glory. Oh, so yes, not only is she back in school, she's back at tutoring, and of course, her man Yeo Jung is not happy about that. It's like, you're always away. He's like, I'm only doing it 3 days a week. Chill out. Remember, revenge ain't cheap.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, she's tutoring again, and after we see that them together, Jung, Yo Jung asked her like, so whatever did happen with Jae Jun? I ain't seen him around because we all know where Hae Jung is, speechless. Okay,
Hmm.
we know where we know that Yeonjun is in prison. Her mom is in
Hmm.
prison. Sarah is in prison. For the drugs. Okay, Do Young out in the wind. You know what I'm saying?
With his
Where's
daughter.
okay with his daughter? Where's Jejun? And we then see the demise of Jejun. So apparently, after his car got hit with a cement truck after being blinded by his new eye drops that Haejung was so happily and able to bless him with, um, he apparently got out his car and made it to a construction zone. A construction zone.
Mm.
So he's over here blinded, trying to see what's going on. He can't see. He hears footsteps. Click, click, click. He says, "Hey, John, did Dungon sing you? Where are you?" Did Dungon sing you to kill me? Oh gosh. That's the first thing that he says. But of course, he continues to say more curse words. MFers, I'm going to kill you. Things of
Right.
that. People, there's a lot of threats, a lot of upsetness, a lot of anger.
Hmm.
And he said, "Say something, please." In the midst of all that anger, now
Right.
he's
In the midst
begging.
of him cussing somebody out, still asking please of that same exact person he was cussing out. Okay.
Yes, please say something. And then we see a man in a suit push him over the ledge into a vat of cement, possibly the same cement from the truck that hit him. The cement was wet, and he drowned in it.
Yes.
And does that sound like the perfect ending for that one?
Here's my thing. I don't necessarily know if Jun deserved to die. Um, I just don't feel as though that was necessary. At least not in my opinion. I know he
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of bad things, but um, I don't think the things that he did warranted his death. But the thing is, the people who've died in this series, I never thought that they should have died. Just like Myung-Oh. Myung-Oh shouldn't have died. At least not in my opinion. I would not have wanted my man to die. Of course, I want him to stay around. Of course, I want to see him more. But this was satisfactory, especially knowing who did it. Not sure when you want to reveal that, but
Oh
um,
yeah, we can go ahead and say it. We saw the suit. That same suit was walking in the airport with his daughter. Yes, oh,
didn't he have a red tie on? Wasn't it?
that
Was it a
same red tie we saw
red
at the
tie?
same red
So
tie that we saw over at the construction site. Of course,
right.
JYP Constructions. I think that's what it's called. His company.
Mhm.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, it's although I don't feel as though his death was warranted. It was very satisfactory because of who did it.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to accept it more. I was able to actually accept it because I knew who did it.
I believe his death was warranted.
Yeah,
You
like
have
if it had been like the flight attendant or someone else like
now
that,
that would have been a bit
or
much.
Sarah, I would not have liked it. But
No.
because if it was young Jen's husband, I was happy with that.
The reason why I don't care who would have offed Jejun, I still believe it's certainly necessary, and I'll tell you why. Do you remember what he was doing in the process as he got hit with a cement truck?
What was he doing?
He was on his way to go get Yeso.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like he was going to try to kidnap. Well, he was going to try to kidnap her, but it wasn't like he was going to try to kill her or something. He's not in his. It's not that he was trying to do something devious. He was
We
trying
know
to do
that,
something for
but it
his
was still
daughter.
wrong for a child. Let's say Yesol was there at that soccer field when Jejun made sure to make his confession in front of all those mothers. He would have taken her.
Yeah.
And let's be real, for a little girl, especially that age, does she need to be with some stranger?
Right, but does that warrant his death? You're saying that that
Yes.
warrants his death. Okay. Okay.
um, but I think he needed to be stopped. And it's not just because of her. Also, it's because of the things that he, helped in and stuff like that. I think you trying to hold on to him because he's not ugly.
Could be it.
There you go.
Just might
That's
be.
that's what it is, y'all. If y'all aesthetically pleasing to my brother, you don't need to go to glory. But yes, it was nice seeing Do Young and his lovely daughter Yesol on their way to London town, so that she can play soccer and be happy, and they can be happy together. So I think that's a perfect ending, so that
It is.
Yesol won't have to worry about this man trying to get
Right.
custody of her. It just takes out a lot of the minutia, like you would like to say.
hmm
All right, so our goons, the homies, we have employed them again. We were able to get a burner cellular phone device, as well as a phone, as well as a car that is unregistered. And it looks like it's on. The revenge plot is on. Hyung Nam, she's still thinking about Sona. She heard a teenager saying, "Mama," okay,
hmm
and she's looking. No, it's not my daughter. She has not come back from America. She has her own store that looks like it sells, sides, little dishes and everything. People like to, get a little fast food. She makes them. She looks like she's doing all that by hand, and she's looking like she's taking care of all of it by herself.
hmm
But she looks sad. She looks lonely, which makes me sad. But, but. At the end of one of her work days, she was, eating a little food before she went home by herself. And she got a message of text. First of all, I bet you that message of text came out of nowhere, and she was very surprised because she might not have a whole lot of correspondence with a whole lot of other people.
Right. Exactly.
And the text message had said, "I'm looking for an assistant. Interested?" The joy that I felt. What kind of joy did you feel, Jonathan?
Any joy that happens for me when it comes to our secret agent
Yes.
is highly lifted. Anything that good that happens for her, I'm always going to be of the utmost excitement feeling for her, because she's our
Absolutely.
girl, and I love that. So yeah, that's how I felt.
I was so happy. I thought it was just over because Dungun, she can be so cold, but that's not the case. So she locked up that stove. She put on her red lipstick
Yes.
and she was out, honey. Um, yeah. Oh, and then look like 3724 got beat up at the prison
hmm
right after that happened. And of course, then we see Dungun teaching in prison. Okay. And a prisoner, we see Yo Jong speaking with a prisoner as he is a prison doctor or whatever now. He's
Yes.
a prison physician. And with this prisoner, um, he was thanking Yo Jung for helping his sister because his sister was assaulted by somebody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She basically said no to sexual relations. And then she had, she was assaulted
Mm-hmm.
and received a scar due to that assaulting. And Yo Jung was basically doing the plastic surgery thing, helping the scar heal better.
Right.
And he also said, like, it won't fully go away, but just a little bit of makeup will take care of it. And he was really appreciative because she couldn't look in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
just being upset. And that's the kind of trauma that nobody wants. But that man, he didn't kill the person that did that to his sister, but he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to. He really would have wanted
Right.
to. So he thanks and says, I want to repay you. Basically, once I get out, I'm gonna make this money and I'm gonna give
Mm-hmm.
you what you deserve because you did such a great thing for my sister. And basically he said, well, how would you like to pay me back a favor
Mm-hmm.
instead of money? And he said, a favor. What you think about this moment, Jonathan?
I know there's something a brewing. I know that our intelligent Moon's man is making plans to get what he needs done. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. So personally, I believe that's how um 3724 got beat down because it was
Exactly.
orchestrated by that situation.
Right.
We over here, we got the strings. Okay?
Okay.
We got
We
the
pulling
strings.
them
We're pulling them.
all willy
Pulling.
nilly.
That's what we're doing. So so that happened. And next thing we see is 3724 coming out of the transfer bus because he went from one prison to the next.
Mm-hmm.
He had a cast on his leg. He was bloody and bruised on his face and things of that nature. And as he is walking into this new prison, we hear a flashback of Yo Jung and him meeting. Basically, apparently, all the scenes that we've seen from the meetings from that one time that they met.
Exactly.
So we finally see the end part of their meeting, and 3724 was like, "You can't punish me because you're a doctor. You took an oath, so you can't kill me." And he says, though Yo Jung walked away from that prison crying, as he should, okay, because of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
He says, that oath doesn't apply to something as inhuman as you.
Okay.
Okay, I don't even
Yes.
see you as a human. Why would I apply an oath to you?
Right.
Okay. He says, if we meet again, please be careful. Every bean you eat, every pill you take, every bit of water that you drink, every time you go to the bathroom, every time you walk around the corner, you better watch that out. He didn't say
Watch
that,
out.
but he might as well.
Yes.
He might as well have. What you think? I was like, I'm just so happy that at least in that whole time he was able to do something to give him the shakes a little bit.
Right. He knows how to threaten you with a smile. He knows how to get up under your skin in the most discreet of ways, but at the same time, it's still very effective. And so that's why I like
Wow.
it when he's got that, evil thing going on. It's real
It is kind
nice.
of nice.
It
Yes.
is.
Um. So we see Dungun go to Sohee's plot, like at a mausoleum. So
Hmm.
it's like a plot thing or whatever. So she's finally has her plot. She's not in the freezer anymore. Praise the Lord in the heavens.
Hmm.
And she says, we're finally 19. We're finally both 19. You know what that means?
No. What does it mean?
So everything kind of stopped for both of their lives at the age of 18 for the both of them.
Gotcha.
So basically, she said we're both 19 now. They're both able to move forward
Right.
with their lives.
I see that. That's beautiful.
Ain't it though?
Hmm.
That's what she said at her thing. And then we get, in my opinion, one of the weirdest endings to a series ever in life. Donggun and Yo Jung drive up to the prison. Overcast goes
Hmm.
over them. Yo Jong tells Dungun, I love you. She says, I love you too. The doors to the prison open and they walk through. That's the end. I was like, we had all of this to happen.
Right.
And it's like, I think I don't there's no way, in my opinion. I really don't feel like there's any way that there could be like the glory to the reckoning or the glory
No.
to the revenges. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um I we could have at least heard the screams of somebody going to glory.
Right. Yeah. To me, I feel as though it is still a good ending, because we
Okay.
know
We
what's
know what's
going
gonna
to
happen. You're
happen.
right.
We know exactly how the story is going to end, and so why not leave it off on a really happy, really joyful moment of them going into the prison together, where the
But what are
culprit
these what's
is.
this cloud cover? What's all of that?
I don't know what that might have meant. I'm sure it meant something
Maybe
to
it's so he's
somebody.
saying
Right, yeah.
maybe that's what it was.
But yeah, I still liked how they set it up. They set it up perfectly so that we knew exactly how this
Yeah,
ended for everyone.
you're
They're
right.
obviously going to be together forever.
They even
They're
carpool.
Oh, exactly. So they're obviously made for each other. So this is really, really good. I've really enjoyed watching this series. So I want to thank you for having me to watch this. I know I've never watched a series like this, a series of
Wow.
pure revenge, and the way everything was set up, the way that the characters are fleshed out. I've never seen all of this. I've seen bits and parts of this in other series, but I've
Hmm.
never seen it all come into just one thing, and be
Yeah,
so amazingly acted, to be so amazingly shot, to be so amazingly written. This
amazing.
series
The
has
story was
been
amazing.
everything. It has been everything. The anticipation of the revenge was so high for me.
From
Not only
episode one.
not only Moon Dong Un's revenge, but how is Young Jin's husband going to react when he finds out that this ain't his baby and that she's been cheating on him for so and so and so and so? How is Jae June going to react when he tells oh boy that Jae Sol is his? How
Yeah,
so the anticipation of how things are going to unfold, because we know certain things and we know that this is got to come back to bite somebody in the behind. To see the
yeah,
way that Young Jin and her crew treated one another and eventually turned on one another
majorly.
was classic, but it's obvious that they do that because they
Yeah,
don't like each other. So just
not for
overall,
real.
oh, yes. So overall, I absolutely loved watching this series. And once again, thank you for having me to watch it.
Yeah, for me, I just love how everything came together, and I'm so happy I did not tell you a thing about this.
Right.
As we were going through the process. Um, Yesol uh is happy with her daddy. Do Young is happy because what they were good to who? Dungun.
Hmm.
It could have been Young Jin's saving grace. I don't know if you remember, but Young Jin was like, "Hey, no." Do Young was like, you have erased the grace that your husband has granted you.
Hmm.
If she would have just, I'm not talking about trying to be nice. If she just would have been just a little bit better of a person and stop being such a B word, it would have worked out in her favor. Um, but Sarah got hers. Everybody got theirs in their own special way, and
Right.
everything that they said that they wanted in that gym, I'm gonna make sure that they didn't have it no more.
Right. Exactly.
Like, Hey Jones no longer that flight attendant. There's no way she could be. And that wasn't
Hmm.
even at the hands of Dungoon.
Right.
And Sarah's done at her own hands for doing drugs. Okay.
Okay. And probably a charge of attempted murder.
Jaye! Of course, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, being a wife and having a great job, having a daughter, it's all gone for Yeonjun.
Yep.
But I really love this series because it was just so good as far as the revenge is concerned. Yes, from the very first episode, we wanted everything to turn around immediately. And I think that's something that we're
Immediately.
here in America. And I
Right.
really had to kind of like talk Jonathan through this. And also, it's kind of like new media for him as well.
It is.
With a K drama like this, though we pretty much watched it with the dub,
Hmm.
English dubbing. Eventually, I'm gonna get him into some dub reading. Eventually, even.
Eventually.
But I promise you, when I get you in the dub reading, it'll be for a really cute story. A really,
Okay.
really, you will like the story. Now, like with this thing, I'm learning how you like romance and stuff like that. And I think
Hmm.
I have the perfect one for you because it's just so light, funny, cute. But you're just gonna have to read it. That's all.
Okay. I'm down.
Oh, and people are attractive in it too. That's another thing. Attractive
Wonderful.
people keep you watching stuff. And
Okay.
I don't want to sound mean, bad, or anything, but I'm telling you, it does work. And I've noticed that. Um, Another thing, for the next thing that we're gonna do, I want to really keep it with the K drama thing because there's so many K dramas that I've been watching, and from watching so many different ones, I've been able to see so much of the culture, the K culture, excuse me,
Hmm.
Korean culture, by watching their shows and getting, you know, ingrained in those things. So the next thing we're going to be watching is an oldie but a goodie. And it's not that old, but we're going to do The Extraordinary Attorney Woo. And that is going to be much lighter, more fun, but there's still drama. And I think that's going to be a great thing. There's a little bit of romance in there. I, it's a little bit more than The Glory. So I think you'll be happy with that.
Good. Good.
I was thinking about doing Vincenzo, but I just wanted to lighten up because we've been doing this
Yeah.
once again for 16 weeks.
Yeah. 3 months.
We needed to lighten up, so Attorney Woo is going to be the answer to that, and then hope maybe the next thing is going to be something more romancy for you. But
Yes.
if you guys
Yes,
have
please.
any, if you guys have any ideas of things that you guys want us to review, talk about, look at movies that you want us to watch, and things of that nature, just let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to let you know how we feel about trying to do it, and we'll
Hmm.
try to work that out for you there. Jonathan, go ahead and let them know how to find you.
Absolutely. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. I do have my own YouTube channel. It is JoJo Speaks. Find me on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. I post videos every Thursday night at 9:30 with hot topics and social commentary. So join us on Thursday night at 9:30 with my co-hosts Jennifer, Tyrone, and Mike. Join us to hear us talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. Again, JoJo Speaks on YouTube. Thursday night at 9:30, y'all. Join us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Mister. That's pretty much it. I am the light of the Leo. Let me just throw this thing up here real quick so y'all can see. I'm the light of the Leo. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and of course here at YouTube at the light of the Leo with no spaces. Type that in for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You'll be able to find me very quickly for sure. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this journey. I need to create the playlist so y'all can easily find all the videos for this the Glory series that we have.
Mhm.
It's been a minute. This is our first K drama that we finished, and we'll see you guys for the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Where's the button? I'm